Mario Kart World, which is what we're here to talk about today. Might be throwing some shade, actually, more like it. Uh, we are doing kind of a review here. Um, we all got together, played it in Nolan's house, got to go over the new Switch. Uh, really cool console.
Mm,
I'm really
yeah.
excited to see what they're gonna do with it in the future. Uh, but yeah, let's start off with initial thoughts from Matthew on Mario Kart World.
My initial thoughts. They do a lot of cool new things. They mess up some established things, and overall, for an $80 game, I don't think it's all that worth it. That's my
Yeah.
summary of my thoughts.
All right. Well, what about you, Nolan, the one who bought the game? What are
The
your thoughts on
one
it?
who bought the game and then finished it over the weekend. And that's not like completing all the open world stuff because I
Yeah.
feel like that could take forever. But that was just, actually beat all of the races and stuff like that. Get the characters. And Matthew said it best when he talked to me this morning. And he said, more like Mario on the cart, why in the world what is this $80? And uh and I think that's accurate. This
Yeah,
feels
unfortunately.
like this was here's the thing, even a swing and a miss for a Mario Kart game is still going to be better than the vast majority of kart racers.
True.
I'll be honest, I think this is still a great kart racer, but it's not what should be the follow-up to the greatest kart racer of all time in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. In
Yeah,
this
one of them
game,
for sure.
they have this feels like the best way I can describe it is it feels like Mario Party meets Mario Kart, where
Yeah.
they have uh there's just so much utter chaos constantly to the point of it not being a fun multiplayer experience a lot of the times because you're frustrated by just the absolute chaos, the not being able to see what's going on a lot of times despite this new clear frame rate and resolution. um,
Yeah.
but when I was able to remove myself from the multiplayer and I could drop back into the single player, this is the most fun any Mario Kart has been as a single player experience. They did nail the
Yep.
single player experience here, except I think the open world is actually pretty lame. I just thought I see it. There are a lot of
Yeah.
interesting challenges. I they I was just I know this is supposed to be top level, but I accidentally went into it here, so I'm just going to get my thoughts out. but
Go for it. Yeah.
but but the single player experience of this game, uh, between your P switches, your question blocks to go find out in the world, even though the missions, a lot of them don't offer much of a challenge. Um, a lot of the real challenge comes in, can you get these little question blocks that are on the world that are put in some ridiculous places that are making sure that you have a mastery of the new rail hopping, of the wall riding, and things like that. And let me tell you, I don't. I don't have a mastery of those things. Um, and while these things are
Yeah.
really cool, you do these things, you start to get better at them. You're like, man, I'm actually gaining the skill here. I wonder if I'm going to be able to take that back into the races. They're showing me through these little mini challenges and stuff like that, all these little shortcuts and stuff. I am I what am I going to how much better am I going to be than everybody else now that I built up these skills, and it changes nothing. I In fact, a lot of
Yeah.
the things just aren't built in the races themselves to work that way. You try to pull some of these off, and then all of a sudden you're counted as out of bounds. Um, or
Yeah.
and the amount of bugs that we ran into in the when we were playing
Oh yeah, that was
multiplayer
weird.
was absolutely wild, where we would have computer characters just suddenly hop ahead when they were like behind, and they like visibly they don't hit a boost or
I don't
something
think
like
that's a
that. They're just
bug, man. I think they
suddenly
just programmed to do that.
I
Yeah,
don't,
that might be programmed in.
it's hard to say. Again, a lot of people cite rubber banding. But that is really intense if it's rubber banding
Getting
because
stuck, just
it's
like
not.
in like
Oh,
you like fat. You drive in between something and then you get stuck and you can't get out.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh
The
man.
the thing that happened to me that was wild is there's these on one race there's these little sidewall things that you can run into, and if you hit them they go flying. And what happened to me is I somehow managed to get wedged between one of those and an actual wall, and for some reason it screwed up the collision that it wouldn't I couldn't move that wall that is entirely movable, and I was actually stuck there completely. Um, for a long time until somebody hit me with an item. I popped out of it, and I came back around that next lap and hit the wall, and it sent it flying. it
Yeah.
bizarre stuff
Crazy.
that I never would have expected out of this game. So it is a very deeply flawed uh, multiplayer experience.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback off of that, I feel very similarly, where kind of similar to how you described it, where it's almost like a Mario Party, Mario Kart. They took a lot of the skill out of it. Like
Yeah,
drifting basically doesn't matter very much anymore.
The maps are too
And
big.
yeah, the maps are too big. And it
You
feels
don't
like a
need a
lot of the
drift. Add
corners.
150 cc.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the corners you can just take them turning and you'll do better that way anyway
yeah,
because drifting takes so much more time now. It's weird.
This game needs
And
200
then like
cc stat.
man, it totally
yeah.
does. Man. Um yeah, and I feel pretty similarly about the single player mode. And I remember saying this when I first saw you doing it. It's so disconnected from like how the rest of the game feels and plays,
Yeah.
which is weird. Like I don't I think that they had some idea of like how they wanted it to go, but they just didn't fit it in with the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very odd. Like yeah. Anyway,
But they did get a lot
uh
of like new things, right? I like the first thing I noticed when I was playing
yeah,
was outside of it's a new console. It's like a new, brand new console, so the frame rate's better, looks better. But like the actual
yes.
cart
For the most part, yeah.
physics, like you like if you take a drift and you let go, and then you can see like the suspension on your car like wiggle and stuff. Like the variations of the different carts was pretty cool, and they actually felt significantly different between like bikes and cars and like tractors or whatever. And so
Yeah.
like a lot of the like actual driving was fun until they like decided to just change like mechanics that have been established for what 20 years.
Yeah, basically. Um yeah, some very weird decisions in this one, unfortunately. Um yeah. I'm curious if it's gonna be a patchwork, and we were saying that before, where it's just like, man, this just feels like it's like gonna be a patchwork thing where they add it all in later, unfortunately,
Yeah.
like
Which
200cc
is
and
pathetic for an $80 title.
I need all the
There's
launch
no
title
for
too.
excuse.
sure
I need everybody at home to understand this thing, if nothing else, that all of the frustration at this being $80 is 100% justified. Anyone who said that they will not be
at this
purchasing it
point.
for
Yeah,
$80, you are making the correct decision. I'm glad that this came bundled in with my Switch, or I'd feel seriously gypped. This is pathetic
yeah,
and honestly just wrong. This is morally wrong on Nintendo's side at this point. That is, I cannot emphasize how bad of an idea this being $80 is, and is completely unacceptable. There needs to be some kind of like the rage behind this is totally justified, and I'm not even one of those guys. I'm usually like just don't buy it,
yeah,
but this is actually, it feels predatory.
yeah. I hate to see it. I mean, yeah, I was definitely mad about it, but I was like, okay, I want to see what it is. Now
Yeah.
that I've seen it, it's like, wow,
It's
I can't,
I
I can't
wouldn't
believe it.
I don't even think it's
It's
worth
crazy.
60, let alone 80. Cuz there's
Yeah.
I think it could
I've
be
never
worth
played a
60.
Mario I don't think I've ever played a
I
Mario
don't know.
Kart game that just doesn't work a lot of times.
Yeah, it's definitely a lower standard for Nintendo,
Yeah.
which is strange. It's like there's higher standard there and there's lower as well,
Yeah.
which is the weird thing about it.
Yep. Let me put it this way: Mario Kart, the actual feel of the racing, they've been nailing it since really Mario Kart Double Dash.
Yeah.
There was the Wii
Sure.
that felt weird, but 7, 8, they've nailed they've got it so dialed in, and that's still here now. I don't want to discount
Sure.
that because there's still a lot of good in here. Again, it's a better kart racer than any other kart racer available right now, not in the Mario Kart franchise. But the problem is these additions that they've done, like the open world, the things that they said that this is why all this extra work, this is why this is going to be $80. The problem is that the Lego racing game does it better. Like
Yeah.
the world is better designed.
It's so bare bones.
Yeah.
A 2K game has a better, more thoughtfully designed world than Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And
This
it's just
this
such
makes
a
me
mess
scared for
when you
what
get
the
out
other
there.
$80 games are gonna be too.
Right.
Like if
Yeah.
they're justifying that this is $80, what are the games that are not $80 gonna be? Like almost nothing?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, it's not a good look. It's not.
It's an even worse look because I was like, I forget which. I think I drafted on Fantasy Critic, and as of right now, it's
Yeah, you
scoring
did.
well, but that's on just on a couple reviews. So, but I was looking through, and even people who are giving it high scores were like, "Oh, great game." They need to really add stuff quick though. And so, if your like favorable 9 out of 10 review is saying, "Hey, yeah, great game," they just need to add a whole bunch of stuff really quick. It
Yeah.
shows you how
They need
bare bones it is.
to add Mario Kart 10 to this.
Yeah. And it sucks
Yeah.
because it ruins like good stuff
Yeah.
that they do. Like I don't know about you guys, I'm a really big fan of the versus mode where you pick a map
Man,
and you race
that's
between
what I
them.
wanted to go
versus
to next.
It like
Oh,
that's
I see what you're saying.
like
Yeah,
that's
I see
really
what you're saying,
fun.
yes.
to me.
So if you're in the racing, there's the verse mode, not the battle mode, but the actual just click verse
Yeah.
mode. That's a really cool concept.
But the
I wish
problem
they
is
Yeah,
had more
racing in
freedom in
between
that.
tracks is cool.
yeah, it's I really like that idea too. I kind of wish you could race like a longer distance, but I get why they do that because it's like pretty much a best of 3 races, or maybe 4. So like
You can
you
choose
start
how
on a
many.
map, you pick the next map you race to, and then after that's done, you pick the next map you race to, and so it kind of does
Which
that.
is honestly that was the most fun we had in the
yeah.
racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I will say that when I dropped back to playing the solo experience of
Better.
what do you call it? Something tour. What is it?
Battle
Knockout tour.
Knockout tour.
Is the perfect single player mode. I absolutely love it. I still haven't
Yeah.
managed
I
to
liked
beat it
that
on
mode.
150cc. I still haven't gone to win there because for some reason you get to those final 4, the items go
Rubber
like
banding is crazy.
after it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, versus like 50 and 100cc, like I feel like I'm in first place literally the entire time. The balancing might need adjusted there a little bit, but
Yeah.
but can we talk about the battle mode? While
Yeah,
we're here,
real quick before we do that, I was actually
sure.
gonna get to that.
Oh.
I want to mention it's kind of like just going into the more Mario Party aspect of it. Since there's 25 or 24 racers now, how many items are on the field?
It's
Oh my
ridiculous. It chaos.
You're
Yeah,
constantly getting hit.
It's not fun.
Yeah, there's times where like I would get hit with an item, and I was in like third, go all the way down to like 15th, 16th place.
And the issue is the wider
Ridiculous.
maps, the items when they have them, they spread all the way across the map. So you have like you're not missing an item, and they refresh it so quick that if you're like behind, like I'd be behind
Dude,
Bo, he'd
yeah.
hit the double, and then it would
Yeah.
be up by the time I was there, and I was right behind him.
I was drafting on people and picking up the item after they went through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't
I
adjust it.
think,
You can have normal items. You
they
can
need
have
to have an
frantic
option
items.
to have less items.
Man,
Yeah, and
and
that
how
was
are you
something
going
silly
to
too. We
charge
turned on
80
frantic items, and it wasn't. There was no difference.
No, not at all. Here's the thing: how are you going to charge $80 and offer less than Mario Kart 8? Because Mario Kart 8 at least gave you the option when you went to verse mode to choose what kind of items you wanted, or to just say no
Yes.
items.
And if they're
Utter
worried about
ridiculousness from this game.
competitive, they can just do an online like standard and not change settings. Are they worried about how you're playing on your couch at home? Is that what the camera's
Probably
for? They're
they are.
watching you, making sure you're playing the game right.
Yeah, bonkers decision. Yeah.
And it stinks too because they
Anyway,
do a lot of good stuff, and then it's just like
yeah,
for every good thing, there's a even worse not good thing.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Hmm.
real quick, let's get into the battle.
Disgrace.
Yeah, I liked some of it. I think some of the maps were good and like they worked like old battle maps did, like the I forget what it was called, but it was
Donut.
like the lava donut one.
I think it was Slava Donut.
Yeah, I liked that one because like it felt similar to other battle maps. Uh, the other ones, Moo Moo Meadows, man, what a train wreck!
It felt like just a racing map that they put. They told
Oh
you to
my
kill each other
gosh,
on.
it's too big.
Yeah.
It's so big. You like half the time I wasn't
And
finding
everybody's
anyone.
got like 5 balloons. So like the game,
Well,
like
that's been like that in
oh,
Mario
is it?
Kart
I thought
8,
it was
I
3.
think.
I haven't really done battle mode since Double Dash.
Well,
I thought
we've
8
done
had
we
5.
no, it did. Yeah, 8 had 5.
Yeah.
And Matthew, we've played it on numerous occasions
I
as
don't
well.
think so. Unless you guys are hitting me on the head when we're done playing.
Actually, you and
Yeah,
the
that's what they
comments can correct me if I'm wrong. You may have an option to change how many balloons you have.
Do you think they'll give you that much power?
In Mario Kart 8 Double Dash, or sorry, in
Think
the
you
Mario Kart
can.
8. I'm getting mixed up my words. Mario
Ah, they're
Kart
talking about this one.
8 Battle Mode. There you go.
And the AI absolutely stinks at that game. It's really good at
Oh,
racing, man.
man.
It's cheating. It's getting all in front of you, right? We were struggling. We
Yeah.
barely finished first place. Maybe one of us would finish first place, like half or under in the races, and then we get to battle mode, and Bo alone
I just
outscored
slaughtered.
almost my whole team.
Yes. It was crazy.
Yeah, most of the AI had like 2 hits, if that.
I
Yeah.
also don't like
Ridiculous.
I'm not a fan of the character thing. So the way they have it, they have the character pool, and then they have like costumes for the characters. I wish they would have just had
yeah.
the character, and then you could pick the costume instead.
Yes.
Because it almost feel like they're trying to like make the
And
roster feel bigger.
And what you
That's
can
true.
do, yeah, and what you can do is you can click X to change around the your character selection so that it'll show all the
Oh, so
costumes
they're all
for one
next
to
character
each
in a
other.
row,
That's good.
except that you still have to scroll through a bunch of pages to
Hell
get
yeah.
to things that you want to do.
Right.
So you can't put all the Mario costumes together. You can't put all the Waluigi costumes together. But it should be that you click on the character and then you choose the costume.
Yeah,
Right?
Like Smash Bros.
like every game ever where you're picking a
Or
costume.
every other game, right? Yes. That they show up as different characters is pretty ridiculous.
And they took out Roy, and that's a trespass I cannot forgive.
Yeah, all the Koopalings are gone. Which
Spike
would have been
is not
easy
a reasonable
characters in the
compensation.
roster, but oh well.
Although I will say that
The
I
cow's
like some of the
pretty
new
funny.
additions.
And the
they
bone, fish bone.
I absolutely love the new additions. I love how much character this
quack.
game has. I love how much character this game has.
Yeah, great
especially
map
with
design too. Like the
the-
look and feel of the maps. Like outside of the actual
Yeah, they all
road.
look really
like-
good. That's true.
Yeah, so here's the thing. The gameplay these maps are not great. There was maybe 3 times where I was like, wow, this
Donkey
feels
Kong
like a
launch site.
racetrack.
What was it called?
And that was
Spaceport.
Yeah,
I mean that's fun,
was okay.
but there's
that was
parts
the
of it that
greatest
are
map
nice.
ever.
But there was maybe 3 Matthew's memeing here, and nobody watching is gonna be able to follow, except for maybe McKenna who is playing with us.
It was a good map.
But it's a good map. But I'm saying that there were maybe 3 races where it actually felt like, yeah, this feels like a racetrack. A lot of the other
Yeah.
stuff was like, it feels like they because all
Rainbow
of the
Road in this one is
game.
It
strange.
felt like you're going from like point A to point B, kind of.
To be honest, I liked it, but so what I'm trying to say is that the maps, I think part of the reason that they feel weird is because this entire thing is one open world. It's
Yeah, they
all
had to interconnect 'em all.
interconnected, everything connects with each other, and then you have to create these courses inside of that. And how do you get a good feeling open world and get these good feeling courses? And they met somewhere in the middle and created two very generic feeling uh tracks and world out of this, and that's where a lot of my disappointment stems from. But the visual design and the little sounds and all the
Yeah,
little
this game looks and
locations,
sounds really good.
the funny things you can do, like hijacking a truck and just knocking everybody out, and the fact that you can do that during a race as well, is fantastic. I love picking up the little lunch bags and trying to get a new character to pop or something like that. Um,
Yeah, it has a little bit of
eh,
that gotcha feel almost, even
yeah,
though it's not.
but it's that I'm doing it in the middle of a race. Like
Yeah.
I'm in fourth. I got 5 seconds. Shoot over and grab a sack lunch and try to get a nice character out of it. Yeah, they've done a lot of cool things with this, but well, do we have any other topics with this to hit before I
Yeah, I was gonna
come in
ask
here?
if we're feeling like we want to wrap this up, or do we feel like we want to give each a
I
score
think
and then
that's about. I can't think of anything
I
I
at
haven't
least
covered
want to
really
give
yet.
a score because I stayed
yeah,
up
you're the one that
beating
spent
the
the money
game.
and yeah,
Well, I
played
stayed
it
up
all
beating
the
the
way
game, so I
through.
want to at least give it a score for that because I feel like I earned
Yes.
the right to be able to uh, tell people I really feel about this game. But uh, I'm cool if you guys also want to do it. I'm not saying I'd be the only
Yeah,
one,
I
but I
was
at
thinking of
least
giving
want
a
to do it.
score.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
I mean,
so
we played all the modes
yeah,
and we played it a lot, so
yeah, and at least one of us is being it, so we're allowed to give scores. So,
yep.
I'll start out, and I will say that when you go through the Uncle Cyborg review scale, um, I want to read what we have for a couple of these real quick here.
Go
Where
for it.
8 is great, and that is a well balanced, complete experience with more than enough good to outshine the bad. A game not soon forgotten. And 7 is pretty good, a satisfying experience that doesn't reach for greatness or is not successful in all of its endeavors. And I find myself very much split here between the two because there is a lot of times where they're reaching for greatness and they hit on a lot of the different things. I think Knockout Tour is incredible. I feel like that should have been the main push here, and you just ditch the open world
Yeah.
altogether, honestly. Or I mean, they have it. The open world feels like I'm back in Zelda, but all I have now is Korok seeds and nothing else to do.
That's a good comparison.
So I think at the end of the day, I do come between those, and I think that this game is a 7.5. It is better than
All
most
right.
kart racers, but the problem is, and this is my my summed up review in a single sentence, is if you have a Nintendo Switch 2, play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Oh
Does it
boy.
have an upgrade
All
version?
right.
Mario
I think
Kart
it
8
will.
Deluxe. Maybe it will. I haven't seen anything for it yet, but even if they don't, it's still a much better game.
All right. Well, what do you think, Matthew?
Um, at its base, it is still Mario Kart, so it is still
Hmm.
fun with your friends. Looking at this thing here, I might venture down towards like a 7 or a 6.5. I haven't played enough of the single player. I don't think. Here's the thing. It was so frustrating because the main thing with all the things in the maps, I could not tell where I was going. Like, and I was up close to the TV. It
Yeah,
was a
it looks
big
kind of
TV,
confusing.
and so I was just getting lost and stuff. I was like, it was fun because it was Mario Kart, but I felt like I was having to get through a lot of stuff to get to the fun. So I'd probably venture maybe like a 7, maybe a there around there if I played maybe some of the single player, I might be able to give a better score. Because I don't want to give it a 6.5 without having played single player a whole lot.
Yeah, you did, and you
Okay.
both did get to play, a solid 15 minutes or so of the open world. Just
Yeah,
kinda driving around,
that's all I
so you
needed.
gotta go
There's
for it.
Yeah.
there's none there.
Yeah, that's all you really need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel pretty similarly. That when you said like that was literally what I was thinking when I was playing it, Nolan. When you're saying just go play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that's exactly how I feel, and I loved that one. As like I literally have every single gold crown on the races for Mario Kart 8
And
Deluxe,
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to me
and
is worthy of a 10, even though I always say it's a 9, but it's worthy of a 10.
yeah, yeah, and I think that's what's most disappointing about this is the potential that it could have been another really great Mario Kart game, and it got dragged down by all this stupid nonsense. Frankly, uh, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 as well, which sucks to say because I wanted it to be at least an 8, but like I can't give it an 8.
Yeah.
I just can't. So
This is the most this may be the most conflicted I've ever felt about a game outside of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And for
yeah,
similar
different
reasons,
feeling, but
honestly.
yeah,
Man, yeah,
yeah,
there's so many cool things about this game, and I'm honestly, I've already got the Switch here. I've even I have it on my bedside table. I'm going to continue through the single player here. I want to see if I can master some
yeah,
of these techniques and see if I can start knocking out some of the checklisty kind of things in the open world, just to see if that changes my opinion of it. But this is a good single player experience. I will say that if you're someone who likes Mario Kart, but you're like, man, I have to wait until everybody comes over or I have people to play with to enjoy this, this is enjoyable for
yeah,
that. And I think I think for I don't think it's going to be enjoyable for kids just driving around unless they just want to go in 5-minute spurts or whatever. But
yeah,
I think there's just a lot of games that do the single player aspect better, like Lego Racer or Lego 2K Racing, whatever. Um, and that game doesn't even have good feeling racing. But the world feels better. It feels like you're actually doing stuff that matters there, and you're unlocking more than just stickers that you can't even see on your vehicle while you race. So at least let me put on several stickers. Let me sticker up the vehicle.
yeah. They give you
Or
so many, and you can't even put
let
them
me
all on.
unlock slots so that I can put 20 stickers on my vehicle or something like that. But nothing like that I found yet. I'm hoping that when I finish one of these in each race area on the map, you have a kind of a little checkbox that shows you how many of the question mark blocks are in the area, and those are the hardest things to get and collect. And I'm hoping that once I clear it out of one of these areas here, because I'm close to one of them, I'm hoping that there's something cool that suddenly unlocks for that. But when I've looked it up, nobody's been able to tell me anything.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyways.
Anyway, that's gonna do it for our review. Bit of a bummer, but yeah, there's some good things here. If you're really into this game, definitely go check it out at least. Maybe see if you can get it on sale, or get the bundle version.
Hang out with
Uh,
somebody who already has it.
yeah, or do what we did.
Yeah, that's honestly the way to go.
Yeah,
This game does
Yeah.
not get the Uncle Cyborg seal of approval.
There is no Uncle Cyborg seal of approval.
no, there is not.
Yes, there's none for this game.
Yeah. That's gonna do it for our show today. I've been the Hyrule King. That's been Matthew Hot Dog Eater and Super Nolan Man.
Comment below if
See
you
you
think we're
guys.
wrong.
I'm lucky
Yeah.
you think we're right.
Comment below if we're crazy. Anyway, see you guys on the next one.